Behind me is FX Stage 1, where in a few moments Maitre are going to make things go bang loudly. Headphone users, this is your warning that things are going to be loud and explodey in your ears.
Okay, everybody, good morning to you all, and thank you all for coming along to Maitre's pyrotechnic demonstration, and obviously for our special effects. We've got a nice small crowd today, so we can do sort of one-to-one. So if you've got any questions as we're going along, then please feel free to ask us. Also, we've got a stand just over the back there, so if you do have any questions, then please feel free to come by and see us. We are going to have a few bangs. We will let you know when they're going to happen, so it gives you plenty of a chance to put your fingers in your ears. What the idea of us being here today is we wanted to let you know what's actually available to you as DJs and performers and everything else and everybody else that's coming along here. Most people associate pyrotechnics with bigger venues, arenas, stadiums and everything like that, but that's not actually the case. We do supply lots of pyrotechnics to lots of different venues, even very small theatre stages as well. So hopefully we can give you a bit of an indication as to what's actually available to you out there. Now, we've been manufacturing pyrotechnics and special effects all in the UK for almost 40 years. And so we almost know what we're doing about it now, so we know what we're doing, so, which is all good. My name's Elaine Frost, I'm head of sales for the Maitre, and as I say, we hope to give you some indication as to what's available to you today. So without further ado, we're going to start off by showing you a part of our first range, which is Pyroflash. Now, we have three different types of pyrotechnic effects that are available to you. Many different variations, colours, heights, sizes, everything about them. But we do three different types. So the first off is what we call Pyroflash. Now, the Pyroflash system sits into the small flash pods here that you can see in the middle of the stage. They're a simple plug-and-play system, so you would install all your pods into your nightclubs or wherever they're going to be. And then the next day, you can fire them off and you can just literally come in, plug them in, and you're good to go again. We also do what we call Pro Stage 2, which is the bare ends products. Now these we say are more for the professional pyrotechnician, but they're designed to be built into your scenery. So we can pretty much tailor-make those to meet your requirements. We've also just recently brought out a new range which we call the VS range, which is virtually smokeless. So again, if the smoke is a problem to you, with the VS range, it dissipates extremely quickly. They do have smoke to them, but as I say, it's more like a steam, so it dissipates a lot quicker. So what we're going to start off with is with our range of mini gerbs. Now, there's three different types here. We have a standard mini gerb, which is around about 7 seconds, and we have our shimmer and our flitter mini gerbs. Okay? So if you're looking for a little bit of pizzazz, maybe that's something that might be of interest to you guys. Now, another effect that we do, again, very much of a popular product that we have, they're called jets. Now, in our world, a jet is anything that lasts up to 1 second. Anything 1 second and above we class as a gerb. Now, again, they come in different variations, but what we have here, we do two different types in this particular range. Again, it's part of the Pyroflash. So we do a reduced height, which goes around about 10 to 12 foot, but we're not going to give you that. We're going to give you the big boys today, which are the 20, but I say big boys, but they're the big boys of this range. So these are called the silver jets. So again, a very, very instantaneous effect, but certainly something that can bring a little bit of magic, if you like, to your performance. Now, again, something with Panto World, I don't know if you guys are really into the Panto side of things, but on stage with Pantos, a lot of the times we need to create a distraction. So we want people to be looking on one side of the stage and while something else is happening on the other. So the way that we sometimes do this is by using what we call a theatrical flash. Now these come in different colours, different sizes. They're a very small effect, but again, bearing in mind that most stages in the UK aren't actually this tall anyway, they do have quite a good effect to them. They're designed to be a smoky effect, but we do them in different colours. We do them in red, green and amber, and they look a bit like this. So as I say, very, very small effect, but nonetheless quite effective. Now I'm going to see if you're all listening to me, because it's time to wake you up, because I'm sure some of you haven't been. Now, what I'm going to show you next, yes, you're right, stick your fingers in your ears time. So what I'm going to show you next is what we call a theatrical flash, which is a standard product in one of our, I don't know, our bread and butters if you like. But this one has a loud report to it. It's actually got an extra loud report. So do you want to hang on to me here? We'll do this together. Yeah, I'm just as scared as you are. So this one's called a theatrical flash extra loud report. There is going to be a very loud bang. It makes me jump. I know it's going to happen. It still makes me jump. jump. So you were warned, and now I think I've got your attention anyway. So that's what we call a loud report. Okay, so that's a theatrical flash extra loud report. Now, moving on to our range of Pro Stage 2 effects. Now, these here we're going to show you a very, very quick half-second jerks. Now, again, these you'd see on things like Dancing on Ice, X Factor, all of the big performers would use effects like these. They're called stage jerks. Now, these are half seconds by 20 foot. Again, with the Pro Stage 2, we can pretty much tailor-made this range to meet your requirements. So they start off at quarter second, and they go anything up to 30 seconds in duration, but we do quarter second, half second, 1 second, 3 seconds. So, as I say, most durations we have for you. Height-wise, we start off at 6 foot, and we go right the way up to 50 foot. So again, 6 foot, 8 foot, 10 foot, 12 foot. So we've pretty much got everything there, got something there for you anyhow. Okay, so what we're going to start off with is a half second by 20 foot stage jerk. And there we had a couple of those crossed over with each other. Right, next range of effects we're going to show you. Again, if you're looking to add a bit of colour to your performance, we recommend that you look at our mines. Now, mines are available in different heights. They start off at 10 foot, and again they go up to 60 foot as standard effects. We also are working on a range of 100 foot and above, but I don't think that health and safety would allow me to do that. So we'll stick to what we're doing quite safely. First off, we're going to start off with our red, white and blue mine. So this is one mine, but it has different coloured chips in it, so to give you a different colour combination of just one effect. So what we have here is what we call a red, white and blue mine. So as you can see, those reach around about 20 foot, 20 to 25 foot. Next effect we have, again sticking with the mine range, is what we call a shimmer and an amber mine. Now there's a couple of each of these, they're mixed effects. Again they go 20 foot, they're an instantaneous effect, and again they're available in very many different colours and different heights. All instantaneous though. So what we have here are the shimmer mines and the amber mines, a combination of both. Very pretty, aren't they? What you need to be cautious of when you're looking at that, certainly the shimmer mines, is the fallout on them. Now they are quite hot when they come back down to the ground, so you do need to make sure that you risk assess the area that you're actually using the pyrotechnics in. Now we can't give you safety distances, but what we can is we can tell you how high they're going to go, how wide the effect's going to go, if there's any noise to them, what the decibel rating is going to be. So we can give you all of that type of information, but unfortunately without being on site we can't do it for you. Needless to say though, it's still quite an easy process to do as long as you're sticking to the safety regulations. Right, one last effect for the VS range for the mines is our purple mines with the towel. Now here we have a 30 foot VS mine. There you go. So that pretty much clears up the mine range that we'd like to show you. But as I say, I can't tell you enough that we do many, many different colours, different heights in those as well. Right. We've recently brought out a new range of gerbs, and we call these core gerbs. Now they stutter as they're going off, they're very, very effective. What we have to show you first off are a 4 by 20, so 4 seconds, 20 foot high. We do them in different durations, so they start at 2 seconds, and they go up to, I think it's a 25 foot we do them in. But the colour on them is basically around about 1.5 foot high, but it pushes its way through the jerk to give you a very nice effect. But because they are part of the VS range, they're very tight, there's very minimal fallout on them, so you can actually get quite very close to them. I mean, I'm not that brave, I'm not going to get that close to them, but just to give you an indication. So what we're going to show you first is the 4 second by 20 foot called burning jerks. Which is, again, as I say, different variations and different colours are also available. We'd also like to show you our pink and blue gerbs, again from the same range, but it's always been very difficult to get a pink and blue gerbs and purple gerbs and that type of colour in years gone by, but we've managed to achieve it now, and the colours are actually really, really nice, especially in the VS range. Okay, so 4 seconds by 15 foot core gerbs in the pink and in the blue. Look a bit like that. So, again, a good way of adding a little bit of colour to whatever it is that you're trying to do. Now, again, one of our most hot selling products, I mean hot, you have to forgive me on that word, but our most big selling products are our stage jerks. Now, we showed you one of them earlier, which was the quarter miles, but now what we'd like to show you is something with a bit of duration to it. So these are called 15 seconds by 20 foot stage jerks. So On our gerbs, the first number always denotes the duration in seconds, and the second number is the height in feet, okay? Now, when we say a 20-foot stage gerb, the highest spark will always reach the 20-foot. The bulk of the effect will be around about 18, 19 feet, but we have to say that for safety purposes. So these are on an array plate, so we've got one firing straight upwards and one firing either side. So again, just to give you an idea of how much effect you can get on your stage with very few effects. So 15 seconds by 20-foot stage gerb. Now, as I say, we're using an array plate to get that effect, but you can, because they're part of the Pro Stage 2 range, as I say, they are designed to be built into your scenery, so you can have them firing off pretty much at any angles that you wanted to give you even more of a wider spread. Right, now this is one of our newer effects. This is called a volcano mine. These we do in small and large. Now, every now and then our chemists get together and they do something rather fabulous with different chemicals. And they've managed to do this with our volcano mines. So we're going to show you one of these in large, in silverfish. This is a very new effect to us. So it's called a volcano mine, large. Pretty, isn't it, that one? We can never quite describe how it looks. When we're trying to tell people over the phone, it's twists and turns. It's very difficult to give the explanation as to how they actually look. But those, again, available in very many different colours. We also do a small, which goes to around about 10 to 12 feet high. But that, what you saw there, is a large. Right, flame effects. So this one is called a flame projector. Now these we do in a 55 gram, 70 gram, 100 gram and a 200 gram. What that means is exactly how much powder is inside each tube. So how high it's going to burn and how long it's going to burn for. Okay? These are very hot. So not only do you need to risk assess what's around it, you need to be cautious of what's above it as well. Okay? So we're going to show you a couple of 200 gram flames here. So did you feel the heat of that? So you understand where we're coming from when we say about what you need to do and what's above it as well. Very shortly we're going to also show you some flame machines as well, which do exactly the same as that, but they'll do it with canisters as opposed to pyrotechnic forms. Now, again, sticking with the flame effects, we have here some of our intense flames in greens. Now, these will go around about 12 foot. Again, we're sticking to the same formula that they're extremely hot, so you need to be cautious of where you're positioning them. So this one is called an intense flame green. Excellent. So with a pyrotechnic, once it's done, it's done. You know, there's no going back to it and using it again. But that's where the salamanders may come into play for somebody that's looking for a flame effect. Obviously, there's no control as to how high that will go. Once it goes and once you've risk assessed it, then that's what it's going to do. But with the flame machines, you can select them for just one channel, just to have one particular height, and then you can have it going upwards on that height. Again, the last one of the flame range, is called the VS gerb flame. Again, this is something that our technicians have managed to put together. They've combined a gerb with a flame, and they've come up with what we're calling a VS gerb flame. Now, there's a bit traditional that, isn't it, gerb flame? So this one's called a VS gerb flame. We've got these in pink to show you. Again, the VS range of all of the effects, the colours are extremely vibrant on them, so really nice way of creating an aura on your stage for them. Right, now we're up in the truss, okay? So this is what we call Chinese confetti spark burst. Now, the Chinese confetti airburst is one of our biggest selling products. Reason being, it's safe for you to put it over the audience. You need to be a minimum of 15 foot high. The higher you go, the better effect you get, basically. And what happens is there's a brown bag of Chinese confetti with a burster inside it. When that goes off, all the confetti spreads and it twinkles back down to the ground. All very, very pretty. So there's not much of a bag. We do a quiet version, so if you're looking for these for weddings, we can do them in corporate colours. And we also do them with a loud version, so for the nightclubs and everything else. But what we're going to show you here is a combination, which is a spark burst. So this has an air burst in it, as well as the spread of Chinese confetti. So, Chinese confetti spark burst in multi. There we go, and that just flutters back down to the ground. Right, next effect we had, a lot of people were saying to us they wanted that, but they wanted it with sparkly paper, so glitter. So we've managed now to achieve this. Now, we call them glitter bursts. They're in silver, blue and red, being rather patriotic as we are, but there is a loud bang to them, okay? So there's 3 of them up there, so we're on a par with where we were bang-wise earlier. I don't know if that sounds right, but you know what I mean. So, glitter burst, silver, red and blue. There is a bang, guys. And as you can see, as it's dropping back down again, the light's catching it and it's making it look very, very pretty. Right, again, still while we're up in the truss here, on the left-hand side here, we've just manufactured this new product, which is called a multi-shot. So basically, you've got a plate with 10 different effects on it. So what that means is you don't have to keep reloading it every time that you want a different effect. So with this one, you'll fire ignition. There's 1 igniter in there. So on ignition, you'll get 1 effect. Then every second afterwards, you'll get another one. So 10 effects on each plate. Now these come in comets, mines, falling stars. We've got up there also a silver glitter drop as well. So we'll show you what they look like. So this is a combination of silver glitter drop and a 25-foot red falling star. Excellent. And as I say, they come in different heights, different drops, and different colours as well. Now, next what we're going to show you is what we call a silver cascade. One of the questions that we get asked over and over again is it okay for us to fire a stage jerk upside down? And the answer is a resounding no, it's not. Reason being, the composition is built in such a way that it's safe for it to burn upwards for a germ. Now, if you put that on its head, it's going to burn far too quickly, and all the gases are going to build up, and it's going to cause you problems. So you would not fire a germ upside down. But what you can do is use what we call either a waterfall or a cascade. Now, these come in 8-foot drops, 10-foot drops, 15-foot drops, and 20-foot drops. And what we'd like to show you here is something that we always use on the X Factor and things like this. I'm really name dropping today, aren't I? I'm loving it. We always use on the X Factor and things like that. This is what we call a 20-second by 20-foot silver cascade. One of the questions that we get asked quite frequently is it okay for us to stand underneath that? And it's not, okay? That's hot. I quite like my hair as it is, so I'm not going to show you that it's not safe to do it either. So you wouldn't stand underneath one of our cascades or waterfalls, all right? So you need to risk assess that accordingly. Okay, pyrotechnic-wise, we've got one more effect to show you, but then we're going to move on to our foggers and our flame machines and our confetti blowers, which, believe me, are just as exciting. We're now going to show you what we call a metallic streamer cartridge. Now, these sit into our variable angle pods. We do them in Chinese confetti, standard confetti, glitter, and what we call streamers, which is what we're going to show you now. There's a couple of these going on. There is a loud bang. Okay, so again, you might want to stick your fingers in your ears. So this is a metallic streamer cartridge in gold. I should have told you it's going to hit the ceiling because it goes 50 foot, but that's all right. It's only me that's going to get attacked by this lovely streamery stuff. These are perfect because obviously the cleaners don't actually like the Chinese confetti and everything, and kick me in the ankles and everything else when we're making all this mess. But these are so easy to pick up. People just take them away with them, particularly when you've got children's performances and the like. They just take them with them, so it's perfect. Cleaners all combined. Okay, where are we going now? Low fogger. Right. We manufacture a product which is called a freeze fog. Now, this gives you a low fog, which stays low. So for first dances or for performances, when you see them using the low fog, chances are this is what they'll be using. Now, the way that we do this is by cooling down the smoke, okay? So to do that, we use CO2. Liquid dipped, high pressure or low pressure CO2 is what we use to cool it down. So basically, you've got a standalone smoke machine. Depending on what type you're using, it has to be a Maitre because of the way that it processes the fluids. Depending on what machine you've got, they're DMX controlled or manual controlled, and you can also use some of them as haze machines too. Now, hooked up to the CO2, as I say, put yourself a 6-second delay on, so then the CO2 is kicking through the freeze fog. That acts as a mixing chamber, mixes all the smoke together and the CO2, and gives you a nice low fog that, as you can see, stays low, rather than reaching an ambient temperature and just smoking out the whole venue. So the way that we do this is by using CO2. Right, next effect we'd like to show you is these flame machines, okay? Now, we do several different types of flame machines. I mean, we're going to show you a couple here now, which are the Salamander Quad Pros. We do a salamander, which is used as a single canister. Each of the canisters will give you up to 35-second bursts from one can. We do them in red, natural, and green. And say 35 bursts. And they look a little bit like this. Can you just select one channel of that, just to decide it? So that's a salamander. We've got one of those on the stand over there if you want to have a look at the actual machine itself. Now, we've also brought out what we call a Salamander Quad Pro. Now that takes 4 canisters. So the Salamander is 2 channels of DMX, one for your hot surface igniter and one for your firing. The Salamander Quad Pro takes 4 canisters. Again, you'll get 35 bursts out of each canister, but if you're using them all 4 together, you'll get a 25-foot high burst, but obviously you'll only get 35 bursts from each of those 4 canisters. So again, they come in natural red and green, and they look like this on your stage right. As I say, by selecting less channels, so selecting one canister, you can get a 25-foot flame height. So this is the red and the green on my left here, and then obviously we've got the natural on the right here. Now the red and the green is slightly lower in height because of the chemicals that go in there to create the colours. So there's your differences between the two. Now, the perfect thing about using a salamander or a Salamander Quad Pro is it takes away the need for you to have the hoses and everything else for your propane, butane and everything else. So it's a nice self-contained unit. Right, okay, then we're going to move on to our confetti blow. This is the last effect that we've got to show you today. I mean, there's many, many more, as I say to you. We have a vast range of products, all manufactured in the UK, but we can only bring you a selection of what we have, otherwise we'll be here all day, which would be lovely for me. So this is called a confetti blower. Now, these are used on arenas, stadiums. They are used in smaller venues as well. But chances are this is what you'll see when they've got the football match that's finishing and they're blowing off all sorts of things coming out of these. I mean, I won't even enter into a conversation with you about the type of things that do come flying out of these. But if we go along the lines of t-shirts and confetti and things like that, then we'll all know what we're talking about. So, we'll show you at this confetti. Now that's using vapour CO2. You can use the liquid CO2, and that gives you a plume of smoke as it's coming out. So all the vapour's doing is it's just literally lifting the confetti. Now all you need to do is just turn your CO2 on, just keep loading it in, and then as much as you're loading it in, then that's when you're going to get your effects come down. Shall we do it again? So it's got quite a big spread on it. Okay, so if any of you have got any questions, thank you so much for joining us here on behalf of Lemaitre and BPM Pro. As I said, you've got a stand over there. Thank you all guys, enjoy the rest of the show. We do have another show at 3 o'clock if you fancy seeing you all over again. Thank you.